Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be testing out pants. Let's go. So this video is for Ethan, who is asking about the essence that I'm using on pants in my raid build. So we're going to swap this out for the medley. When Arcane Torrent hits an enemy 4 times, they will take an additional burst of 9,147 damage. Damage is increased by 90%. What I'm going to be doing today is testing out the 2 Arcane Torrent pants and also a couple of the Disintegrate pants to see which makes the build stronger. So let's start with the medley. So we're going to do a 30-second burst for each of these tests to see the damage that we get from each essence and see which one comes out on top, and also how it affects the different skills within the build. Now, something just to mention here is that other players' debuffs affect the dummy. So if you are testing something in the training ground, please make sure they are the only person attacking that test dummy, or your results may be inaccurate. I discovered this completely by mistake last week. I thought it was a bug, but apparently that is how it's supposed to be. So even if you're not in a party with that person, it can affect your results. So this is the first result with the medley. You can see it hasn't really enhanced damage on Arcane Torrent at all. And we have total damage of 111 million in 30 seconds and 3.69 per second. So we're going to now swap these pants for one of the Disintegrate ones. Obviously, not all of the Disintegrate pants will work with the shoulder essence that I'm using, so Chaos Nexus will not work with that. We've got a few others here that we could go for. I'm just trying to look for which one is going to be better. So obviously novel castigation is what I normally use. We've got Greaves of the Firmament here. So Disintegrate deals 7,304 additional damage every 3 hits. We could try that one first. Obviously Disintegrate cooldown is reduced. That doesn't really apply because it's super fast cooldown on this Disintegrate essence anyway. And because I have the duration of beneficial effects reforge bonus on my gear as well. So we're going to try this one. Its damage is increased 90% and Disintegrate energy is consumed slower as well. So again, we're going to do a 30-second burst. Because my Wolf Cure has just activated, I need to wait a few seconds because otherwise that isn't going to be active for the correct amount of time during the test. So the cooldown on Legendary Gems is normally around 20 seconds, so I'm going to wait to approach the training dummy again, just because I want to make these tests as accurate as possible, and obviously resetting the dummy as well. So let's test this again for 30 seconds, see if we have any increased damage on the first one with the medley. And like I said, this essence is for Disintegrate rather than it being for Arcane Torrent. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's any enhanced damage from this compared to the last one, and also to see which pants come out on top. So overall, this pan essence has given more damage by 8 million in 30 seconds, and we have 3.976 million damage per second as well. So that is Greaves of the Firmament, and yeah, that one is for Disintegrate, and that damage is increased by 90%. You can see here as well, the damage is increased on the Disintegrate skill, and super low on Arcane Torrent. So we're going to try another essence now. I'm just wanting to test out a few different ones to see which comes out on top. As I said, unfortunately, not all of the Disintegrate ones will work simply because of the type of Disintegrate that we're using. So we're going to try this new one. This is Raptor's Tail. When Disintegrate hits a shocked enemy and unleashes Chain Lightning, dealing 12,015 damage to the target and 2 nearby enemies. So this one is one that came out recently, and because we're using the shock from the new Lightning Nova essence, this should work quite nicely in this build. So we're going to go ahead again and do a 30-second burst of this. As I said, this should work nicely and pair with the new Lightning Nova essence and hopefully give us some nice damage. Are we going to beat 119 million in 30 seconds? Let's just wait and see. Now I accidentally hit the refresh button and not the pause button there. It's actually super annoying that those two buttons are so close together. I might actually put that in to the developers to possibly move one of those buttons slightly so that it's easier to not mess up like I just did. So this is the reality of trying to make content though, that you do sometimes mess up with things like this, and normally I would just trim this out, but you get to enjoy my blunder today instead. So I think we hit about 120 million damage in 30 seconds, so just 1 million damage more than when we tested the last pants. But I'm just going to test this again for 30 seconds to double check. When I did pause the video down, it was 120 million in 30 seconds, but let's see if we get the same result. I imagine we'll probably get close to that, maybe 119 million damage again. That seems to be quite consistent with these Disintegrate essences from what we've tested so far, and also what I've tested off screen without recording. So coming up to 30 seconds now, what are we going to hit? So yeah, we have 119 million damage again and 3.975. So pretty much the same result as we got from Greaves of the Firmament as well. And you can see the Disintegrate damage here is actually slightly lower. So the damage, I think, is coming more again from Lightning Nova, probably because of having the shock from that as well. So let's test these pants again. So we're now going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go back to test Novel Castigation. We haven't done that in this video yet, and then we can see what damage we actually get from that one. Like I said, unfortunately not all of these Disintegrate essences will work with the essence we're using on the shoulder, so they don't all pair properly. So let's just go ahead now and test Novel Castigation. As I said, this is what I normally use in this raid build, and this is what I've tested previously in the video. Novel Castigation damage isn't that high at the moment, so hopefully this will make a difference. And we'll once again do a 30-second burst and see what the result is. So this is why I use the Novel Castigation pants. You can see we have 128 million damage, and we now have 14 million damage coming from Arcane Torrent. So 4.27 million damage per second. And this pan is just super strong in this build. It works so well with Arcane Torrent. The reason why people think Arcane Torrent is super weak is because they don't actually pair it with this essence. So Novel Castigation, the description for this: Arcane Torrent also fires tracking missiles that seek out enemies, dealing 13,720 damage. Damage is increased by 90%, and Arcane Torrent damage is increased 10% from the Awakened slot. So that's why I use these pants, and you can see they have made a huge difference in that, and obviously over a minute that will be doubled. So that is it from me today. I hope you found this video helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.